Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevakam bhagavati tamashloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanam cham pakumudaya govindaya namo namaha. Om jnanatirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Snapitam Yena Bhutale Vayam Lokakadam Tati Svapadam Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Spinam Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhattacharya. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, continuing our discussion on third canto. So today, last time we have discussed about Brahmaji, how Brahmaji prayed and started creating. That creation, we have seen how Brahmaji has created different varieties of species. Like these are like prototypes, we can say, are the like these are the different species that he has created. Different souls, they occupy these bodies to the course of duration. So that's how we can understand that. Just like in companies, like they will manufacture a product. Initial product is like they will use all their intelligence, create a product, right? And then later on, using that same product, the multiple other products are all created. Similarly, Brahmaji, he used like always with the power of the Lord only in the form of Brahmaji or Brahmaji, empowered by the Lord. He created all these prototypes of this creation, and subsequently all the souls could occupy these different bodies. But the creation of the Lord is amazing, that like the bodies that will develop automatically, like in our creation, we can see that there is like one machine cannot produce another machine without the help of human touch. But here, like the humans, there is a like automatic reproduction system is there. Like trees will produce their offspring through their seeds. Humans produce embryos and all the different species. They have their own kind of reproduction. That is the ingenuity of the creation we can see. And like we can also appreciate the presence of creator just by seeing these wonderful creations. For example, any nice product, if we see like any mobile or any laptop or anything, any machine, big machine which is very very complex, we immediately recognize there is a creator. And we see all the machine, like all these bodies, different types of species we can see around. And so these are all like very very complex machines, and they have their own way of reproduction, they produce automatic, like they will come when the time comes. So this creation, this process is going on. So we can definitely appreciate that there should be some creator behind. And Bhagavatam is giving details how all these different species have come about. Like Brahmaji, empowered by the Lord's Kriya Shakti, he is creating all these different. He has created all these things, and these bodies we are able to see, right? Appreciate all these things. So now, one more important aspect, as previously discussed a little bit, it's more elaborated here. Like Vidura has asked about the time, how time is measured, what are the different times that we see in this world. So the is Maitreya Muni is answering in this section the how time is measured. So now time in general is very complex subject. Like time, like there is a, like in general we use time for different meanings. The general usage is like what is the time now? Currently it is 6:30, but it is like it is varying in different times. But there is time we use in other ways also. Like uh, for him, time is bad, so therefore he is undergoing troubles. That is like one kind of usage. And in Bhagavatam also, time for some people experiencing misery, then the time is attributed. For him, he is suffering because of time. The actions of time are very difficult to control. So therefore, he is suffering, like there's some usage in there. And no one can surpass the time. So that is also one more usage, because in this world, sometimes some people may have good time, bad time, like but everyone has to, like everyone will pass the time. That way time passes for everyone. No one will wait, time waits for none. So like the different usages are there for time. And it is interesting that how we measure time, right? So time, for example, if there is no time, generally we measure through the passage of, like through the movements only we can measure. Like if something is moving, then only we can measure time. For example, if there is no movement at all, imagine a situation where there is no movement. For example, if you are in a room, everything is still, and we are also still. There is no movement at all. So there is no question of like measuring time. There is no movement only. There is no time. So in general, we measure time from movement of something. Like for example, we say one day has passed. So what is that one day has passed? One day means like the sun has risen and sun has set. All the duration in between, many things move. So light has come, light has increased, it became very bright, and then again reduced and became dark, and again light has come. So in this way, one circle got completed. So that we say one day and night. So in general, in this world, we measure time with the movement of its of sun. So unless there is any movement, there is no time. And if the sun moves faster, there is like the time is moving fast. If sun moves little slower, time moves little slower. That way, time, like unless there is movement, there is. That's why there is a concept called as time dilation. The time dilation means that time, the measurement of time varies from one planet to another planet. Even in modern science, this concept of time dilation is there. So where, for example, in Vedic time, this concept is there. Time dilation means the time in Swarga and other people, the above planetary systems, There, 1 day of them is equivalent to 1 year of the time span of humans. So that is like a different time span. And Pitruloka is there, one more loka. For them, 1 day is equivalent to 1 month of our time. So this is like time dilation, we say. But in modern science also, this time dilation is observed. How? So there are the different spaces, different vehicles are there, space vehicles. So generally we measure time here in this world through clocks. How these clocks we measure? So there is a particular movement of atoms, right? So that particular movement of atoms in the quartz, like in the crystals, through which the amount of time it takes that particular vibration of those crystals, those amounts multiplied by certain amount, it measures as 1 second. Like that, it measures for 1 hour. That's how we measure the 12 hours in 1 day. So these machines, when they are loaded in a space shuttle, and when it moved around different areas around Earth and came back, it was noticed that the time measured by these clocks are different from the time measured clocks in the Earth, which are stationary, which are located here. So that means the space shuttle, when it moved around in the outside Earth and came back, the amount of vibration is less. So therefore, the amount are less or more. So therefore, the time measured is different from what is the time measured in Earth. So similarly, we can observe that different planetary systems, the time measured can be different. That's the concept of time dilation we will discuss. So here, in order to describe the divisions of time, first, Maitreya Muni, he describes the divisions of particles. So the divisions of particles he defines. So there are like two, like first he defines the paramanu. Paramanu means a particular, like if you divide all the matter into very, very small divisions, the smallest division you can make, that is termed according to Bhagavatam as Paramanu. So according to modern science, they may have different understanding, maybe atom, even further in atom also they might have divided. The understanding of Bhagavatam is that the finest particle, which cannot be further indivisible, that is called as Paramanu. And if all these atoms or all these ultimate particles, they are combined together just before dissolution, they will be together. There is no divisions of matter at that time. So that totality of all the matter, for example, the like all the pradhana, it comes from Mahavishnu's body and then it divides into different elements. So that just before dissolution, the totality of all elements, totality of all matter, that is called as Parama Mahan. So in this way, in between Param Mahan and Paramanu, there are so many different varieties of objects that we can see, which are like gases, which are water, which are maybe light also. So all these things are made from these different elements, Paramanu and Paramahan. So this is like matter. So in order to describe time, first matter, divisions of matter is described. Now, just like matter has divisions, time also has small and big divisions. So how time is defined here? So the like Bhagavatam defines, or Vedic scriptures define, time covered by the sun in passing over an atom is called as one paramanutam. So that means the smallest time that it can travel a sun. So that means we measure the sun's duration like one circle, one day moving from one direction to like one day, from rising to again rising, we can say like one day. So that sun is always moving. That sun movement part just to pass over one atoms, one paramanu. So that time is called as paramantam. Like that is like smallest time. And the time it takes from creation of the universe to the destruction of the universe. That big time, like from creation to destruction, that full time is called as Paramahan time. So in between Paramahan time and Paramahantam time, the in between times are located. So like in between the times, there are divisions are mentioned. I will just I'll just mention the in between times also. What are the in between measurements? So this is so this is Bhagavatam, how it describes different divisions of time. So Paramanu is smallest time. Anu is like said to be two Paramanus, and two like combining two Paramanus make one Paramanu is like if we say one atom, two Paramanus make double atom. Anu, this is called as Anu, and three Anus make one Rasarayana exatom. So Truti is time defined in Vedic time as time taken by sun to pass three Trasarayanas. This is approximately 8 by 13,500 seconds. So that is such small Truti. So 100 Trutis make one Veda, and three Vedas make one Lava, three Lavas make one Nimesha, three Nimeshas make one Kshana, five Kshanas make one Kashta, 15 Kashtas make one Lagu. So one Lagu is approximately uh, 2 minutes, and 15 Lagus make 30 minutes. So the two Danda, this is called as Danda. Two Dandas will make approximately one Muhurta, which is approximately 1 hour, 48 minutes, something like that. This is like Muhurta where we say one Muhurta is there. Buddha has passed away. So these are like different Vedic measurements. And 6 or 7 dandas will make one prahara. Approximately it is 3 hours. Or one we can also say it as yaha. 4 praharas approximately will make one day. And 4 plus 1 day and 1 night will make 124 hours, one complete day. 15 such days and nights will make one paksha fortnight, 15 days. Two fortnights, two pakshas will make 1 month, 30 days. 2 months will make one season. So, and 6 months will make one ayana. We say Dakshinayana, Uttarayana. So that is like one ayana. And two ayanas, Dakshinayana and Uttarayana combined together will make 12 months. This is like 1 year. So this is how the Vedic calculation will come, that which we always measure. So sometime how to measure time of a particular Vedic time measurement, that is also given. So it is mentioned that time it takes for water to overflow, and we take particular copper vessel, some particular way, and in which a hole is measured with a gold probe weighing 4 masha, that particular weight, and 4 fingers long. So this is a particular measure by which Vedic time can be measured. We will not go into details. So, and human life is approximately such 100 months. So this way, this time is measured. There are like different types of year is also given according to movements of different planetary systems. So in this way, time is measured. 1 year is measured in that way. So after that, there are different. This is like the human years. Vidura, he asked about. Please describe the lifespan of even the sages who are living in the Brahma Loka. So like one kalpa is called as 1 day of Brahma. So the sages who are living in Brahma Loka, they live for the lifetime of Brahmaji. They live beyond the kalpa of Brahma. And in Swargaloka and below Swargaloka, Bhurloka and Pataloka, all these lokas, they live for one kalpa, like Swargaloka was. So he narrate about all these durations like that he asked. So then my Preman started narrating that one Chaturyuga is called as 12,000 years of Devatas. So one like 1 year, like 1 year, Kali Yuga, like 1 year of humans is equivalent to 1 day of Devatas. So therefore, one day of Devatas equivalents to 1 year for humans. So Devatas, if they live for 100 years, so therefore their 1 year is equivalent to 360 years of humans. So Devatas, their 100 years is equivalent to like 1 day of Devata is equivalent to 360 years. So 1 year of one year of one lifespan of Devata is equivalent to 360 into 360 years they live for. So the mention of the yugas, how they are calculated is that 1200 Devata years will make one Kali Yuga. And double Kali Yuga is Dwapara Yuga. Triple Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga. 4 times Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga. So total combination of Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali is like 12,000 years. So one Devata is equivalent to 360 years of human. So therefore 12,000 multiplied by 360 gives rise to 4,32,000. Sorry. That is the one Kali Yuga here. 43,20,000 is one Chatur Yuga. So that's how the yugas are calculated. So Kali Yuga, where we are situated, is like it's like 4,32,000 years, and in that 5,000 years have already passed. So that's how the Kali Yuga is measured. And I will share one chart where we can understand all this. Okay. So this is like Satya Yuga. So this is like 4 yugas that is mentioned. Now it is mentioned that Brahmaji also lives for 100 years. And each of these 100 years consists of, like each year consists of 12 months and 30 days. So first day of Brahmaji, like Brahmaji has already passed 50 years. He is in the first day of the second. So 50 years of Brahmaji, first half of life is called as Paradha. So Brahmaji has already passed Paradha time. So his second Paradha is going on now. In his second Paradha, first day is what is currently going on. And each day of Brahmaji is divided into 14 Manvantaras. And each Manvantara has around approximately 71 Divya Yugas. Or each day of Brahmaji can be also classified as 1000 Divya Yugas. That means cycle of Satya, Dwapara, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga combined together is like one Divya Yuga. So 1000 such Divya Yugas will make one Brahmaji's day. So in 1000 Divya Yugas there are 14 Manus. So that means approximately each Manu will have around 71 yoga cycles. So 14 into 71 will make 1000 yoga cycles. So out of these 14 Manvantaras, 6 Manvantaras are already passed. Currently, 7th Manvantara is going on. So in that 7th Manvantara, 71 yoga cycles have already passed. Currently, 28th yoga cycle is going on. So in this 28th yoga cycle also, already Satya, Treta, Dwapara Yuga have passed. Kali Yuga has come. So in Kali Yuga again, it has 4,32,000 years. In that also, 5,000 years have already passed. So currently we are 5,000 years past and we are currently situated here. So this is how the Brahmaji's life is calculated. And others life each Manu's lifespan is 71 Divya Yugas, and Swargavasis they live for like around 1 Manvantara's time. Some Swargavasis. So this way the lifespan and each like all the Bulokavasis they live for 100 years in Kali Yuga. But in Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, the lifespan will be more. In Dwapara Yuga, approximately 1000 years average time. Treta Yuga, it will be like 10,000 years. Satya Yuga, 1 lakh years. So in this way, their duration will vary. Here, are there any doubts regarding this time? If anyone has any doubt regarding time, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll proceed for next section.
No, Prabhu. I don't have any. Does anybody have any doubts?
Let's proceed. So it is important to understand because Bhagavatam narrates the Bhagavatam now the living entity different species are created. So now Bhagavatam will start describing the activities of Brahma from his creation from here. So it describes how Brahmaji has created different species here, how first Manu, Swayambhu Manu has appeared, and it elaborates the first Manu, Swayambhu Manu, for around 3-4 cantos. Whole third canto is description of Swayambhu Manu's lineage, and even fourth canto, fifth canto, 3 cantos, full cantos are description of the lineage of Swayambhu Manu, his 5 sons, and even 6th canto is also his lineage only. 7th canto and 8th canto, there is 8th canto starts describing about the remaining Manus till 6th Manus, 8th canto describes. 9th canto describes about the 7th Manu, present Manu, is Vaivasvata Manu, which the Lord also speaks in Bhagavad Gita. I have imparted this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Vaivasvata Manu. So this is 7th Manu. The 9th canto talks about all the dynasties that come in 7th Manu. and it ends with the Dwapara Yuga description of Krishna's appearance. So, and that which continues in 10th canto and 11th canto also, which basically the life story of Krishna, which who appeared at the end of Dwapara Yuga. So 12th canto continues from here at the end of life of Krishna to present age, and it even goes beyond the description of present Kali Yuga to future also. 12th canto describes the future appearance of Kalki, and it also describes the future Manus. It goes till 14th Manvantara description it gives. So that's how Bhagavatam is also a description of the time span of one day of Brahmaji. That also we can understand how Brahmaji is one day is completely described throughout the Bhagavatam 12 cantos, one complete duration of one day, and it complete annihilation of even after Brahmaji's lifespan, complete annihilation also it describes. So that's how it is important to understand these time scales.
Okay, Prabhu.
We'll proceed to the next topic.
Yeah.
So the Manvantara we have seen. So Brahmaji, during the Manvantaras, there are different entities who manage this world. And at the end of each day of Brahmaji, the three planetary systems up to Swarga, they will be destroyed. The Pralaya will come, and at that time there will be no sun and moon. Only the higher four lokas, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, and Satyaloka. These four lokas will remain. That means after 4,32,000 years, all the lokas below Swarga and including Swarga, they will be destroyed through Pralaya. And all these four planetary systems, people of Maharloka, Janaloka, they will be living, but because the fire is coming from below, even the people of Maharloka will also experience some amount of heat, and they will start moving towards other lokas. The oceans will swell and cover the three worlds. So in this way, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, he sleeps at the end of Brahmaji's day. And Brahmaji also sleeps along with all his residents. And when the next day, when Brahmaji awoke, so when Garbhodakshaya Vishnu arose, so he starts again creating all these Swargaloka and others. So each day, Brahmaji has to create all these Swargaloka and Bhuloka and Pataloka when he awoke. So at least we are, it will say whenever we get up, if we imagine every day we get up, all our offices, everything is destroyed, and we need to create again office and then start working. It will be like tough task, right? So similarly, whenever Brahmaji sleeps and when he wakes up, again he has to create all these planetary systems below Varga and Bhuloka and Pataloka, all these lokas. Then he has to generate all the species and give places for all of them. So that is the task of Brahmaji for each day when he wake up. So that's what we have seen in the last week, that Brahmaji is offering praise to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu to empower him to create all the planetary systems for and others. So in this way, even Brahmaji, although it seems that he has very, very long time of Parartha, 50 years of Brahmaji Parartha, and 2 Pararthas will make 1 Brahma. So that even the Brahmaji's days are also mentioned. Like first Parartha is called Brahmakalpa. The last kalpa is called as Pratma Kalpa, and current kalpa is called Vara Kalpa. There are some details that are given. But even Brahmaji's lifespan is also simply one nimesha for the Lord. So that means for the Lord, for Karanodakshaya Vishnu, she simply breathes and breathes in and breathes out. When he breathes out, all the different universes are coming out from his hair pores. So that means even the lifespan of Brahmaji is very, very small compared to Karanodakshaya Vishnu's breathing. So in that way, that means for the Lord, this is like very, very, we are like very, very small creatures. So, and that time cannot control the Lord, because time itself, as we have seen, is coming from the moment of the moment that is controlled by the Lord. So therefore, that time cannot control the Lord. That's why it is mentioned that in spiritual world, there is no time. And even the universes are also look like some small atoms in front of Mahavishnu, Karnavaksa Vishnu. That's how they are small. Although for us, Earth itself is so big, and compared to Earth, all other Sun is so big, and so many other planetary systems are there. And like compared to universe, these are all very small. But for Vishnu, Mahavishnu, all these universes are also very, very like small atoms for him. So, like this whole discussion, it makes us that we are very, very teeny, very small in comparison to the Lord, both in terms of time and space. So that's how we can understand that how small we are, how humble we can be. That's the lesson we can learn. So, and then spiritual abode of Vishnu is eternal and supreme. So in this way, the we can understand the power of the Lord. So that's why time is mentioned. So now Brahmaji, he starts creating. So his creation is mentioned. Creation of Brahmaji starts creation. So how he created different uh, personalities, that is mentioned here. So Brahmaji, Maitreya Muni starts describing that. I have described about time. So now please hear about the description of different creation of Brahmaji. That he describes. So first he describes that the first creation that he made is the creation of ignorance. So, ignorance is of 5 types: Anda, Tamishra, Mahamoha, Moha, and Tamas. These are the 5 types of ignorance that he has created. So that Tamas, these 5 terms, why ignorance is created, like living entities, they are all not related to the matter. They are beyond the matter. And they want to identify, like, but they have a tendency to enjoy. Unless they identify with the body, so they cannot enjoy in this world. So in order for them to identify, the first avidya potency is created through Brahma. So this like this avidya potency is like eternally there with the Lord's power. This is like Lord's Maya. One of the aspect of Maya is avidya. So this is what first is created, and the 5 functions of Maya is these 5. So here these 5 terms are described. So tamas means like one will be ignorant about the original nature of the jiva. So that is tamas. So swarupa of the jiva one will forget. So that is called as tamas. So then moha means one will identify with the body. So tamas is forgetfulness of one's sarupa, but moha is identification with one's body, creation created through ahankara. So because one identifies with one's body, mahamoha, one will try to possess, like one will also develop possessiveness for the objects of enjoyment. So that is called as mahamoha. So when one develops that possessiveness, one will one will develop that enjoyment tendency. When that enjoyment tendency is obstructed, anger arises. So that is called as tamishra. And when that anger is when it is exceeded, then that will bring about an unconscious state or death. So that is called as andatamishra. So in this way, one will forget about one's original identity. One will start identifying with the ahankara and the body, and that will create enjoyment tendency. And when that like a possessiveness for the objects that belongs to the body, when that is forgotten, one will develop anger that will lead to even death. In this way, these are the 5 functions of avidya, ignorance. This is what is first created by Brahmaji. This makes all the living entities to identify with the body. So Brahmaji, so these are the 5 terms that are mentioned even in other scriptures like Yoga Sutras of Patanjali also mentions them in different terms called as avidya, asmita, raga, abhinivesha, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. Same avidya is can be mapped to tamas, which is called as ignorance. Asmita is false identity, moha. The raga is attachment, like possessiveness, which is equivalent to mahamoha. Dvesha is repulsion, like anger, which is like equivalent to tamasra. And abhinivesha is like complete indulgence in that in the matter or fear of death on the tamasra. This way, this can be mapped to even other things coming from other literature. So Brahmaji, when he created this ignorance, he felt dissatisfied. So he is displeased because first thing that he meditated, the first thing he created was ignorance, which bewilders the jiva. So therefore, he wanted to create something positive. So something which is related to vidya. So therefore, he starts meditating on the Lord and starts recreating. So in Brahmaji, while creating, he experiences different setbacks. So those are also we can learn. So first thing he experienced was dissatisfaction because ignorance was the first thing that he created. He experienced dissatisfaction. Therefore, he meditated again on the Lord and recreated. So then the functions of Vidya have appeared. So through which the Kumaras have appeared. So Kumaras, they are like Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara. These are the 4 names. These are the first beings that appeared from Brahmaji. So these these personalities are also these personalities are also lives for the lifespan of Brahma. But when Brahmaji, when he sleeps, these 4 personalities will also sleep. They also enter into the Lord Vibhakshayi along with Brahmaji, and they will also be appear along with Brahmaji when Brahmaji appeared. So these Kumaras represents the 4 functions of Vidya, which are represented by Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya, and Tapa. So these are the 4 aspects of Vidya, which is called as Sankhya, which is like measurement of analysis of matter. Yoga is performance of yoga. Vairagya is detachment, and Tapa is austerity. So these are the 4 aspects of Vidya. So these appeared in the form of 4 Kumaras. And all these aspects of Vidya, without bhakti, they will not produce any results. So therefore, these 4 also has bhakti as secondary item. So therefore, even the Kumaras also have bhakti, but bhakti is fully manifested in the form of Narduni, which is described later. So when these Kumaras have come, Brahmaji had ordered them, you create progeny. But Kumaras, they understand that they wanted to perform. They are devoted to the Supreme Lord. They are more inclined to attain liberation. They are fixed in the path of liberation. So therefore, they don't want to create progeny. They don't want to get married and create progeny. So they don't want to tangle in that cycle. So therefore, they refused Brahmaji's order. So, but Brahmaji, because his first sons, Kumaras, they have appeared and he ordered them to procreate, but they refused. So therefore, immediately he developed anger. So but understanding that Kumaras wanted to perform higher progeny, like higher activity to produce children. So therefore, he tried to control his anger, but still, because it is difficult to control that anger. Through that, he controlled his anger, but through that anger, one more child was born. That is called as Rudra. So Brahmaji's creation, in the second, we can also see that he has created Kumaras, but he ordered them to do something, but they disobeyed. So they kind of showed they did not follow his order. So there is the second setback Brahmaji experienced in his creation. But still he continued his endeavors. So here Kumara's refusal to Brahmaji's order cannot be condemned, because ultimately Brahmaji's purpose of creation of this whole world is so that all the living entities develop love for the Lord and attain liberation. So that's what Kumaras wanted to perform. Like they are intend to attain liberation, which is the ultimate purpose of Brahmaji's creation. So therefore, their rejection to get married and create progeny is not condemned. So therefore, Brahmaji also did not say anything to them, but he simply controlled his anger. But because that anger is there, through that anger, one more personality has appeared. So that personality is called as Rudra, so it's Shiva. So the Brahmaji initially created ignorance. So that means Brahmaji got influenced with Tamoguna, and then he created Kumaras, which is like Sattva. But when they rejected, anger arises. So this is also like Rajoguna. So that Rudra Shiva has appeared. As soon as he appeared, he started crying. And he started crying and saying, please give me my name and place to stay. So like that, Rudra started crying. And this Rudra, he was like blue and red complexion. He has this blue and red complexion, and he started crying, and then Brahmaji said that he pacified that since you have cried as soon as you are born, cried in anxiety, people will call you as Rudra, and I will give you these places. 11 places he gives. So what are those places? He gives the heart, the senses, the life air, ether, air, fire, water, earth, sun, moon, and austerity. So that means the principle of anger resides in these 11 places. So by giving these 11 places, Brahmaji is indicating that anger will reside in these places. So, because heart is the birthplace of anger, and when anger increases, it also resides in the senses like eyes, hands, and feet. Because uh, when someone becomes angry, eyes become red, he throws his hands and feet. So these are all indications of anger, right? And it also resides in the pranas, because when someone is angry, his breathing will also become more. And anger is also represented in ether, like sometimes sound, like fearful sound will come through of lines and others. And anger is also present in the form of other elements also. Fire, water, earth, which are like fire starts burning, water floods, and earth it forms into different weapons. And anger is also there in a combination of elements in the form of tiger, snake. The anger also resides in the form of sun and moon, which sometimes creates so much heat, sometimes creates so much cold, which causes death. The anger is also present in austerity and in other practices like Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya, which doesn't have bhakti. Because wherever there is bhakti, there is anger will not be produced. But if something is without bhakti, like tapasya, if it is without bhakti, or Sankhya, Yoga, and Vairagya without bhakti, they have a tendency to generate anger. For example, some yogis, if they perform severe austerities and there is no bhakti, they tend to become angry. But bhakti makes the things soft. So this way, different places of anger are mentioned. And he also gave 11 names for Shiva, which are like Manu, Manu, Ahinasa, Mahan, Shiva, Ritadvaja, Ugrareta, Bhava, Kala, Vamadeva, and Dhritavrata. And he also gives 11 wives, Rudranis. Their names are also mentioned. So in this way, he gives 11 names and 11 wives, and he told Rudra to accept these places and start creating progeny. But when Rudra, he starts creating progeny, so all these progeny, they starts creating so much havoc in this world. So they are also similar to Rudra. They are also have similar strength like Shiva, form and fierce nature. And they started devouring the universe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Babu.
You were able to see, right?
Huh? Sorry, Prabhu?
You are able to see, right?
Yes, yes, I'm able to see.
So Rudra, like all these descendants of Rudra, they started devouring the universe and they started creating so much disturbance. So Brahma became worried again. Then he again went to all these descendants of Rudra and Rudra. He instructed them that now please situate in austerity. Don't create further progeny, because they are all creating so much disturbance. They are devouring this universe. So perform austerity, and by performing austerity, it gives happiness for all living beings. So therefore, he instructed like that. So therefore, Shiva agreed, and he started performing tapasya. So he may started this way. It is like the third obstacle, we can say. Brahmaji started wanted to create, but he experienced the disturbance in the form of the Rudras trying to devour the universe. But he again ordered them to perform tapasya, and he further started creating. So he further next created the 10 sons he created. these 10 sons, they are very famous, which are we hear in various Puranas and Itihasas. They are called as Marichi, Atri, Angirasa, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu, Bhrugu, Vasishta, Daksha. In this way, 9 sons and 10th son is Narada. So these are the 10 sons of Brahmaji that were created. And they were all produced from different parts of Brahmaji. And Dharma also created from chest of Brahmaji. Adharma was created from backside of Dharmaji. And even other qualities like lust, anger, greed, speech, emotions, and other religious activities are also arrived from different parts of Brahmaji. So these are also created. And Kardama, which Kardamuni also created from his shadow, from his splendid. So which Kardamuni story we will see later, which will come in 21st chapter. And there is one episode that is mentioned, Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam gives different lessons to learn. So therefore, some episodes are mentioned, even though they are very bewildering. So this episode is called as Vak episode, where the Brahmaji, it is like Maitreya Muni says that we have heard. That means Maitreya Muni also, like he does not want to commit any offense to Brahmaji. So therefore, he is saying we have heard. So this Brahmaji is not our Brahma. This episode is happened with some other Brahma in some other different universe. But in order to give us lesson how powerful Maya is, how powerful lust is, so in order to give warning, he quotes this episode best. So Brahma, he mentions that he gets attracted to Vak, which was created through him. So Brahmaji, when he got attracted to Vak, so seeing that Brahmaji's sons, with great respect and affection, they don't want to create any offense because Brahmaji is one of the universal controller. So such great person should never be disrespected. So with great respect and affection, they have spoken that previously it was never done by any Brahma, and it will never be done in future, and this will bring disfame to your reputation. So therefore, don't create wrong example for population, because people will always follow your footsteps. So it will not be good. So in this way, they kind of affectionately spoke to Brahma. But when their efforts failed, they directly started praying to the Lord to protect Dharma. So that means that generally lust is very difficult to control. So only with the mercy of the Lord can only give mercy. That time only it can be controlled. So therefore they prayed to the Lord. So that's how Brahmaji immediately recognized his mistake, and he gave up that body. That means that mentality he gave up. That became form. So here giving up body here means giving up that mentality. So this Brahma is not our Brahma. In some universe, in some particular day, it happened. So this is the fourth obstacle for Brahmaji when he was creating. This is like distraction. So he got distracted with Vak, and he gave up that mentality. So, and later on, Brahmaji also created different other uh, elements, like elements which we see in the scriptures and all these things. Maybe we'll consider in the next time, and discuss this, and then we'll continue our discussion of the next time we will discuss the story of Varahadev, how Varahadev he lifted the earth and all these things will continue. I'll stop here. Comments or questions, otherwise we'll end.
Anybody has any questions? I think
Yeah. So we will end here. Thank you everyone for your questions. Hearing. And here, Chandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai.
Hare Ram Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.